Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to almost 50% of first marriages. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Divorce Happens, a podcast to educate, inspire, support, and yes, make you laugh through divorce and beyond so that you can start fresh on the next phase of your journey. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce.
You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Welcome to Divorce Happens, the podcast where we support you before, during, and after divorce with education, inspiration, and lots of guidance. Because as you know, divorce happens, and then you start fresh. And we're here with a fresh starts expert and somebody you're going to want to listen to, Alice Smith. Alice, can you tell us what you do and who you are?
Yes, thanks so much for having me. I am a professional astrologer. I practice out of Seattle, and I am so excited to talk about this topic.
Well, we're excited to have you here because astrology, obviously, I always like to say the stars don't lie, right? So astrology is part of life. I talk about it all the time. Okay, so you're going through a divorce, you're considering divorce, there's so many aspects here. How does your astrological signs, your soon-to-be ex-partners, and also, and I could be wrong, but I've talked to you a lot about astrology. I think each relationship kind of has its own sign, right? So how does this all play together to support you through kind of what could be a tumultuous time of divorce?
Such a good question. I think the thing with astrology that really is so amazing is it allows you to see what's really happening in a situation. Astrology doesn't care about your hopes and dreams and wishes. It doesn't care that, you got into law because you wanted to make partner by the age of 25. Maybe law just isn't for you, and the astrology will show that. And it does that for relationships as well. Like you said, we can see the nature of a relationship through astrology, compare two people's charts, see what is actually you can work on and that you can improve, and what each other's non-negotiables are. And you can make a more informed decision as to whether or not you have the energy or the desire to work through those issues, and if you can actually accept those non-negotiables with each other. Maybe somebody is just not a very physically demonstrative person, and you just absolutely need more physical touch. The astrology will show that. With predictive astrology, we can take a look at, it's not like super on the nose predictions, but astrology is really, really good at showing you what season of life you're in. Are you in a growing season, a spring, a summer? Is it a fall season? Is it a winter season where you really need to just contract and get to know yourself again? Because that's really important. That's something I work a lot with my clients with, because we live in this very capitalist mindset that's so go, go, go. We expect to be in summer where things are happening and growing all the time, 24/7.
Yeah.
It can't be summer all the time. And when it's not, we really shame ourselves. We think there's something wrong with our lives. And the astrology can really show, hey, it's just a quiet time where you need to end things, or you just need to spend more quality time with yourself, reorient.
I love that. I love that. I think that that's such an important point to make too, especially for people who are listening to this in the consideration of divorce phase, right? When you're like, is this going to last forever? I mean, no joke, I saw two astrologers during my divorce process, and both of them, again, the stars don't lie, right? It's all there. Both of them were like, you're going through it was my Pluto, whatever it was. It was like once in a lifetime thing. And I think it was my Pluto return, maybe? It was something very dark.
Yeah, Pluto packs a punch. It probably wasn't the Pluto return, but really when Pluto hits anything, endings happen.
Yeah, it was. And it was literally she could tell. And like you said, it was down to almost the month that it was my ex-husband left, right? And she was like, this is the hardest time in your life. And I was like, well, okay, I'm going to choose to trust that because I'm going to get through this time. So how can, let's say you're listening to this and you are, let's say just You just asked for a divorce. You're starting the process. How can working with you, Alice, like sitting down and doing the work you do, really support your mental health during this divorce process?
I've been divorced too, and mine was a very loving, separation. And even the nice divorces pack a punch, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So um, it is a period of recovery and healing that needs to happen,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yep.
feel like so many times with divorces, we want to hit the ground running. We're so desperate to meet the new chapter of our
Hmm.
life move forward again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like when you've been sick with the cold and down and out, and you have that first day you're feeling better, and you decide you're gonna do all the chores, and then you
Yeah.
burn out, and you're just
Yep.
like, "Oh, no, I'm actually still in this recovery process." And again, I attribute that to our very capitalist mind state that just is obsessed with linear thinking, like, "We have to make progress, we have to make progress."
Yeah.
And astrology really helps to bring us back to a healthier mindset where we get into rhythms and cycles,
Yeah.
take us out of that linearity and the need for
Mm.
things to happen now, now, now.
Yeah.
And then sometimes our efforts, we've already done all that work. We have worked, we have, deposited the input that should
Mhm.
yield an
Oh
output.
my gosh. You mean that's exactly what I used to I mean, during my
Right.
divorce, it was like I would call my divorce lawyer and be like, "I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Why is this process taking so long?" It's so
Right.
frustrating. Yeah.
And I love that you use that word process because life is a process and it's not going to be linear and it's not going to pay off within certain times. And your astrology will show that. Your astrology will show, like, hey, this is just a time when the external is not going to be that responsive to you
Yeah.
because, we're planting seeds. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, the most helpful to understand when you're in a planting season so that we can get really mindful about the type of seeds we're planting.
I love that.
Mhm. So, even if things haven't sprouted and borne fruit, we've done the right things. And also, we're not going and like digging up our soil, checking to see if the little seedlings have sprouted roots yet, which
It's very
I do
hard
all
to
the time.
do.
I do it all the time. So I think just on a very meta level, astrology helps you make peace with where you are in this time and place in your life. And
Yeah.
because it's not doing all the things you think, you're not being all the things you think you should be, there's nothing wrong with it. There's still meaning in it. We can still
Yeah.
understand that there's a point to it. And then on a more micro level, your astrology can also pinpoint like what's the point of this? Was this, for
Mm.
example, are you going through like a Pluto transit? Like for you,
Mhm.
that's a period of really culling and I hate to say it, killing off
Yeah.
all of the things that do not belong in your life right now anymore and
Mm.
allowing your getting rid of all of it so that
Yeah.
you have space to plant new things.
Yeah, I love that. I love it, and, like, what validation, right?
Yeah,
Like, from
yeah,
from an astrologer to be like, "I feel like I'm in this place," right,
right.
to, get rid and call and all these things and really put my boundaries up, right, and get rid of the people that are not serving me, and then to have an astrologer say, like, "Yes, that's exactly what you should be doing."
Exactly.
So, what does it look like, from a logistical standpoint of to work with you, like, on this? Like, do you pull their chart? Do you talk like, what does that look like?
So I always start everything with a birth chart reading because then we can begin from a place of understanding. I always say the birth chart is sort of the syllabus or the lesson plan for your
Mm,
soul. And
okay.
when I do predictive readings, all I'm seeing really is what modules in that lesson plan are firing right now, what lesson is being brought forward at this point, so that we can focus on that and understand the meaning of what's happening and what the whole point is and how we
Mm.
can grow from it and become better versions of ourselves.
I love that. And how can then working with you inform about the person you are divorcing, right? And about the relationship that's because a divorce is not an end, right? It's a transformation of a relationship.
Absolutely.
So how can astrology inform that transformation?
So I completely agree. It's not an ending. We are, I'm huge on looking at life in terms of cycles and seasons. And
Yeah.
people can be right for us during certain seasons. And just
Mhm.
because it didn't last forever, again, that's our linear thinking,
Yeah.
coming in, doesn't mean that it was a waste of time. And I think what really helps, astrology really helps with, is helping you recognize that perhaps that season is over and, helps you make peace with that. And also when you are working with, your partner, soon to be
Mhm.
ex-partner,
Mhm.
and trying to figure out how to make an amicable split, especially when children are involved.
Yeah.
Understanding what sets you off and what sets the other person off, because it's
Yeah.
just an emotional landmine. Everybody's feelings are
Right.
amplified and heightened. Everybody's so sensitive in a divorce situation that
Yeah.
coming to the table with that knowledge of where your, tender spots are
I love
and
that.
where their tender spots are,
Mm.
really, really help, both people navigate. I think more people who want to get divorced should get relationship readings. Like,
Mhm.
everybody gets relationship readings when they wanna get together,
Yeah.
but if you are already committed to the path of divorce, but the 2 of you want to be good co-parents,
Yeah.
that's when a relationship reading really comes in handy.
I love that. I love that so much. I'm gonna hammer that home for this episode if you're listening to this, because I think that I mean, again, divorce is a transition, and if you have kids together, that person's gonna be in your life come hell or high water.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out a way to make that work. And I mean, so much of what we talk about at Fresh Starts, we call it Guggenheiming. So it's like you go up, right? You're spiraling up. It's kind of like our little inside joke. And so, it's very hard for me I'm a Pisces Virgo rising. So it's the Virgo part of me is always like that linear. I'm like, oh, why are we not getting right to like the end of something? But the Pisces part of me understands the water just keeps flowing, right?
Yeah.
It just flows and flows. It's all connected. It's all connected. And so it's hard though, especially in divorce. I just want to validate for anybody listening, like you want your divorce lawyer on the phone. You want an answer, right? You want to have, the court, the all of those things. And so I love that your like sessions with you could be so grounding and informative and really like give people the support they need to, I don't know, feel like really seen by the universe. That's like what the phrasing that comes up for me.
So many people, that's a very common piece of feedback, that when they get a reading, they feel seen in a way they haven't felt seen before.
Mm,
And it's because the chart really, just like you said, the chart doesn't lie. It just
yeah.
gets to the heart of the matter, and it really doesn't care, like, what we
No.
hope to be or what we're
Right. Right.
encouraged to be. It just
Yeah.
sees what you are.
I love that. So, how can people work with you, Alice, if they're listening to this? And obviously, all of Alice's information will be in the show notes. But what kind of offers do you have currently?
So, the fastest way, excuse me, to work with me is to book a reading through my website, and we have Zoom sessions. You can be anywhere in the world. We can
Love
have a
it.
reading, and I really don't think that the Zoom online thing detracts
Yeah.
from it being impactful.
No,
You
I've
don't.
only ever done it on Zoom. I've only done
Yeah.
astrological readings on Zoom, and they're great. Yeah.
Exactly, and it actually allows me to share things on the screen that are super helpful. It really does not diminish the
Yeah.
personal touch,
Yep.
and also it allows you to record it, so
No, it's
just so
great.
much information, so much information.
Right.
And then if you want, and then also follow me on Instagram, because I do put a lot of content on there. I do try to maximize the amount of free content, because my vision going into astrology was really to democratize it.
Love it.
And actually, like right now, like follow me, because right now I'm actually leading a 4-week workshop on the moon to tap into your intuition, learn how to live in the here and now. I have a group of 8 gals. We're doing this. It's completely free. It's just part of my
Love it.
community
Oh, I love
service.
that. I
So
love that.
you stay in touch with me. You will
Mhm.
get first dibs. You'll see the announcements of when the openings for these groups open
I
up.
love that. I love that. That's awesome. Definitely go follow Alice. And can we just put a good word in for our friend the moon? Because she's amazing. We love the moon,
Oh my
right?
god, the moon is so underrated.
Yeah.
And it's so profound. The ancient astrologers actually really revered the moon because they knew that the moon could pack a huge punch when it comes to your level of happiness. So you ignore the moon, you feel very successful and sane, but you're deeply unhappy. And I think that describes most of
I
us.
think that is such a great motto. I mean, I for me, the moon is a symbol that that anything is possible, right? There's infinite possibilities. If we can see the moon in the sky, then anything is available to
Exactly.
us. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I feel the same way about the sun. It's like to be able to feel the sun on your face. What a spiritual moment
Yeah.
that is. So I love that.
Exactly. So much of us, so many of us are so out of touch with our own natural rhythms. We're out of touch
Yeah.
with the rhythm of nature. And I don't think we have really realized what an impact that has had on our sense of well-being.
Yeah. 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 No, the work you do is profound and very important. And literally, you could work with, if you're anywhere in the world, you can work with Alice, which is super, super cool. So, Alice, before we let you go, if anybody's listening to this and they're in the throes of divorce, what would be some encouraging words you could leave them with?
It's a tough time. It sucks. It's hard. And it probably is meant to be. And that's okay. It's a time for leaning into those feelings. And you're going to survive it. And I think points in life like a divorce are just times where we learn to experience shades of emotions that we normally try to avoid and push away. And it can be a season of hurting, and it can also not be wrong. And it's not going to last forever. And you're going to come through even stronger and more resilient for having gone through this season. So don't amplify the hurt. Layer another, you know, um, unnecessary layer of hurt on yourself by putting shame or attributing wrongness to it. You can go through everything you're going through right now, and it's exactly where you need to be, and there's nothing wrong.
Oh, Alice, we adore you. Such profound words. And if anybody would like to work with Alice, you can find all of her info in the show notes. Of course, she's at Fresh Starts Registry and the Expert Guide. Alice, we just appreciate that you're part of Fresh Starts because, a Fresh Start journey is an incredibly spiritual journey, and you need to have your astrologer on board. So thank you for
Totally.
being here.
Thank you for having me.
Divorce Happens is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the only divorce registry platform for everything you need to begin again, including home items, hype team, and everything in between. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh. We're here to support you before, during, and after divorce. Head to freshstartsregistry.com for more info.